Zaros is the god of fate and control, as well as a divine aspect of dark energy, countering his companion Saren, who is the divine aspect of light energy. He is an extremely powerful entity, whose powers rank amongst that of Guthix and Saren, having been directly created by an elder god. By reputation among other gods' followers, his ways are occasionally characterized as Machiavellian, empty and manipulative to a degree. He is also sometimes associated with shadow, emptiness, fate, and absence. He personally says that these are merely the impressions of others on him, and one should judge him based only on his own actions and words. Unlike the young gods, Zaros was never immortal. He has never been anything else but a divine being. Zaros and Saren were both created by the elder god Ma on Runescape, when the last cycle of the universe began, many thousands of years ago, to serve as company. He was to represent dark energy, while Saren was to represent light energy. They were tied to each other in ways neither could control. It was a mutual attraction of sorts that weakened Zaros' concentration and Saren's will in order to bring them together. Ma, with the temperament of a child due to the lack of anima mundi, thus making her purely instinctual, without memory or knowledge, saw them as her playthings in a sense. However, Zaros resented this. Unable to learn anything from his creator, he longed to escape and create his own destiny. Saren, on the other hand, felt it was their duty to remain with Ma. She felt that Ma needed them and only created them out of fear of being alone. Indeed, Zaros abandoned both Ma and Saren. He set out to search the stars for whatever he would find. The first world he came to was that of Infernus. Zaros' arrival in Gielinor was one of the most important events of the early Second Age. During this age, he ruled a vast empire of hitherto unrivaled size, stretching from the borders of the Troll Country and the frozen wastes to Karil, bordering Hollowvale, and from Garok by the northern sea to the northern cliffs of the Kandaren lands in the south. From his arrival, which was some time after Guthix's first descent into the planet and subsequent sleep, and until his downfall at the hands of Zamorak, Zaros was one of the most powerful gods known to Gielinor, both in personal power and influence. Even millennia after his defeat, the few people aware of his existence are aware of his immense might, and the gods familiar with him express great fear at his name. The very few present-day Saradominists and Zamorakians who possess knowledge of Zaros consider him an adversary. Others, like certain inhabitants of the Khihidrian desert and some Majorat, still worship Zaros as their lord. He is the patron god of ancient magics and ancient curses, and is strongly associated with conquest and domination. Zaros only recently regained contact with his followers on Gielinor by way of a communion portal, before returning to Gielinor from Runescape. Zaros' goal is to guide Gielinor's inhabitants from the shadows, pushing them towards their full potential and protecting them from harm. Upon arrival to the planet in the Second Age, he deemed establishing a large empire with massive armies the best way to achieve this. However, this eventually led to rebellion and his own banishment. As such, he has chosen a more subtle means of accomplishing his goal upon return, trying not to rule, but act as an unseen but omnipresent power, silently guiding mortals to their greatest potential, and working with only a small number of those that have reached this state of total potential. Due to his conquering of land and initiating of many wars in the Second Age, Zaros has often been called an evil god by followers of the gods who attempted to erase him from history. Most who know of Zaros today, but who did not follow him, usually regard him as evil and something to be feared. However, it should be noted that his intentions are not malevolent. During Fate of the Gods, Zaros claims that his disputes with Saradomin taught him the notions of good and evil, but he dismissed them, stating that there is no good and evil, only action and consequence. Zaros himself can therefore be better described as alien in his morality, rather than evil or good. Zaros' followers differ, however, greatly in morality. Some of Zaros' followers may be called evil in the conventional sense of being ruthless, enjoy being deceptive, and seeking power for power's sake. Originally, Zaros was worshipped in his empire in the northeast of the known continent. However, its settlements were destroyed by Zamorak and Saradomin before the former utterly laid waste to the land itself. Most traces of the Zarosian religion and the god himself, such as altars and temples, have been destroyed by Saradomin and Zamorak during the Zarosian extermination, in an attempt to wipe all traces of him from Runescape. His remaining followers were either killed or forced into hiding if refused to defect. Without their god, the Zarosian following diminished throughout the 3rd and early 4th ages, until being reduced to a small number of Khihedrian bandits.